Oh, what a lovely day for us to be at the gates of Valhalla. We're talking movies. We're talking Mad Max Fury Road, starring Charlize Theron, Nicholas Hoyce, and some intense stares by Tom Hardy. Written by Brendan McCarthy, Nick Laredas, and George Miller, who also directed. I never thought I'd do something as shine as that, Kris.
Oh, that's you moving into your quote because, you know, you can't change your fucking inflection or anything. My name is Max. My world is fire and blood. Or, you will ride eternal, shiny, and chrome. Ha 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 ha!
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of How'd You Like That Movie? Tonight we're talking about Mad Max Fury Road from 2015. And if you are complaining like Scott was there about my quotes, it's because I can change the inflection and I can put some fucking effort behind them. So, Scott, take us away.
You know what? No, I'm not. Fuck you.
I quit. I'm done with this fucking podcast.
I'm taking my ball and going home.
We're only podcast friends anyways.
More like podcast acquaintances.
Boo!
But in terms of this film, I'm actually very disappointed with this film.
What?
My major disappointment with this film.
You're a fucking major disappointment.
Is that I never saw it in the theaters.
Oh, yes.
You see that?
You deserve to be disappointed.
Yes. You see that? You see what I did there?
Yes, I see what you did there. You did a bit of a turn of phrase, as they say.
But yeah, like when this film was originally announced, like I was still, not over my disappointment in Thunderdome. And
what? 2015 to what? Thunderdome was what, like 1984 or something like that? You still weren't over the quote unquote disappointment? Fucking grow up, buds.
Hey, there's something called cable TV and HBO, and every couple of years I'd be, reminded of it and be like, fuck, it's a Lord of the Flies, Mad Max. Why?
Okay, well, before we go down this road, out of the four, but not talking Fury Road, let's be honest, there's really one good Mad Max, and that's Road Warrior.
I would say the first one.
Oh, you like Mad Max? Like the original?
I like the first one. I like the first one.
Mel Gibson in his prime?
Yeah, no, I do enjoy the first one. Oh my God. You're already starting?
Oh, come on, man. That shit's common knowledge. It's like, that's not even a surprise. People if they listen to this podcast and they didn't hear me comment on Mel Gibson's overt racism, they'd be like, these guys don't even know stuff.
A person, I'm not even gonna go there.
That's probably good.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. So you like the original Mad Max?
I like the original. Road Warrior is my favorite one, but now obviously it's this one. This one has overtaken all of them.
So you did not watch this in the theater because of Thunderdome? Well,
it wasn't.
That's a fucking stupid reason. You know that, right?
It wasn't just Thunderdome, right? It was, even though with what was going on with Mel.
But you probably saw fucking Happy Feet in the theater, and you were like, "Oh, that's the best Miller film ever made."
I have fucking kids. Of course, I watched Happy Feet.
I knew it
in the theater, and I watched Happy Feet too.
In the two Babe movies.
I was gonna say, and I watched Happy Feet too. So fuck you too. But no, it wasn't just that. It was also, I was apprehensive of the recasting, right, of Tom Hardy's casting, and it's only because, like, for me, Max was synonymous with Mel Gibson, right? Like, I thought I thought it was going to be like Harrison Ford and Indiana Jones, where one actor plays one character, right, and then that's it.
Yeah, we saw how that went with fucking Crystal Skull, so maybe it was a smart move to cast Tom Hardy.
Well, Crystal Skull is made the most box office out of all of them.
You always bring that argument, and I always say the same fucking thing. 1,000 billion fucking things. Shit. Yeah, Crystal Skull was horrible. They should just gut it. It's like, it makes fucking Temple of Doom look good. I mean, I don't mind Temple of Doom, but it was always like the worst one. And then Crystal Skull came, and like Temple of Doom looks like it should win a fucking Oscar. Anyway, let's get back to fucking Mad Max Fury Road here.
Yeah, but now...
So you were disappointed.
Yeah, but now, like after watching it when it came out, like at home, and like just being in awe of what was done on this film and how it looked and how it presented itself. It was amazing, and I really am disappointed that I never actually got to see it on the big screen.
So because Kris is into seeing movies in the theater, because that's what he does, I did see it in the theater, and it was amazing. Like I came out of that movie, and so this movie's only 120 minutes long. It's a 2-hour long movie, and it feels tight. This is a perfect example of editing. We're going to talk about this later. But like I came out of that movie and I was exhausted because of the adrenaline. Like it was like at 11, most of the movie, it would back off to about 9.5, and then the fucking throttle would go down, and you're like, and the sound and the way the picture, like the size and scope, the cinematography. Like I said, I came out of there and I was like, holy fuck, man, I feel like I've been on a goddamn roller coaster for 2 hours. Like, need to do some crystal meth to come down from this high.
Yeah, like this film's a master class in the KISS method, right? They just kept it simple, right? Basic linear story. The only thing that wasn't simple in this film was, 90%
the filmmaking.
Yeah, I was gonna say 90% of it is all practical
Yeah, isn't that great?
effects.
Because it looks like it should be CGI, and there's no CGI rendering in this movie.
Well, there is, right? Like her Charlize Theron's arm is all CGI'd and all that stuff.
Sure,
but in terms of the effects,
like the effects, like all the action and stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, they used something like 150 stunt performers, including people that work for Cirque du Soleil. And when I think about it, then the guys come on the people come on the poles into the war wagon. I think those are for sure Cirque du Soleil actors, man. Because like that's some crazy. They're like picking people up, swinging back and forth on those poles. The whole thing is like an adrenaline rush. It is insanely good.
Yeah, I think it's what best movie in the last decade is what it won.
Oh yeah, on a bunch of lists, and
yeah.
it's considered one of the greatest action movies ever made. And I'm like, yeah, I could see that.
And that's the thing when we make fun of, well, not we, but it's mostly me when we make fun of like the James Cameron action films where it's like, hey, we're just redoing Pocahontas over and over again. This film's like, I'm going to drive here and then I'm going to drive back.
Yeah.
But the thing that's amazing is literally a film that majority of the film is a car chase, like a full-blown car chase the whole fucking film, which is...
Well, and that's what Miller wanted. He wanted basically like a one long car chase, which is like you said, you drive out, spoiler alert, you turn around and you drive back.
which is amazing. But yeah, like I was reading up on this too, and Zoe Kravitz, who plays one of the,
she plays one of the wives or the concubines or whatever.
And she was saying that was like the scene where she gets ripped out from the truck and then she's high up. Like,
that's real?
That was 100% real. She goes, the guy goes in, and then picked her up. That was her that high, and then going back down into the other car.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think like I've got two quotes again tonight, but I'm going to start off with this one. So Nick Pinkerton from Sight and Sound. Miller's Mad Max Fury Road is a hammer down, cast iron plated, diesel exhaust belching manifesto on the physics of screen action. A metamechanics monster truck show with everything but a Robosaurus. I was like, yeah, it is, man. Like, just from like right from the very beginning, like it kicks off. He eats the lizard or whatever. He gets back in his car, and it's chase scene, and it doesn't fucking stop, man. It's so amazing. Like the cinematography in this is mind blowing, and I mean that has a lot to do with the fact that John C. It's Seal. I don't know. It's Seale. Yeah, John Seal. He actually came out of retirement to work on this film.
Wow.
So John has 5 Oscar nods, 1 win, 6 BAFTA nods, 1 win, He worked on The Mosquito Coast, Gorillas in the Mist, Witness, Rain Man, Dead Poets Society, The English Patient. One of my favorite movies and a film that I consider like a perfect film, The Talented Mr. Ripley. He was the DOP on The Perfect Storm and Cold Mountain. Like, this guy is a masterclass cinematographer. And like I said, he literally came out of retirement to work with Miller on this film.
Yeah. I think he won Oscar, right? Like, he won the Oscar, I believe, for this one.
I don't think he won. I think he was nominated. They won for editing. His wife, Miller's wife, Margaret Sexel, she won her first Oscar and BAFTA and Australian Academy Award for her editing on this.
Yeah, because I know it was nominated and it won 6. And to be honest, I didn't look up which 6 they actually won. I just literally
for sure. It was like editing, makeup, like hair and makeup editing, set design, like a lot of that stuff. But it was nominated for Best Director and Best Picture. Like, it lost out to The Big Short, actually, for Best Picture.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean,
both are good movies.
Drama, right? Oh, I love The Big Short. I've seen it like 10 times.
Hey, this is Margaret Robbie in a bathtub. And I'm going to tell you about short selling.
I wish all my economics classes could be taught that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, when you were talking about editing, what I saw or read as well, I didn't see it because I wasn't there, but they shot this whole film in sequence. Now, you're the technical guy. I'm assuming it was what that means is like they just followed the script.
Yeah,
right?
It would be chronologically. Yeah, basically there was no like going. Well, I know they had some reshoots, and that comes up with there was like a big dispute in the budgeting, but we can get to that. But yeah, for the most part, typically that would mean that it was shot like from beginning to end in the order that you see it roughly.
Yeah, and then what I read was she had to go through 420 hours.
I have 480 hours.
Oh, even more. So let's release the Miller cut, right? We just did the Snyder cut.
I want to see the 480-hour cut of this film. She spent 3 months just watching the footage before even getting into editing, just sitting down and watching. Well, I mean, 480 hours, man, that's a long time. So on the topic of editing, it took 2 years of working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. She spent 6,000 hours editing this film. No wonder she won like a bunch of awards for editing. Like, it's so well edited, man. Like, it's so if you remember, like, often when I complain about like not moving from shot to shot, not keeping that dynamic tension and stuff like that, this is the exact opposite. Like, this is like, again, to keep using this word, it's a masterclass in editing, like moving from this, moving to this, moving from like all these different shots, and then keeping that tension, yet also keeping like the audience engaged in like the character and the story. Like, it is fantastic, man. It's so seamless. They did all kinds of interesting stuff on this. So like you said, they used, practical effects. They had like all these great stunt people, but they play with the frame rates. So basically about 50 to 60% of it is at 24 frames per second, which is your standard kind of frame rate. But everything outside of that, he would like slow it down or speed it up. And he would just like do this after they were done shooting. So that's why like the film has this like really weird kind of feel to it. You know what I mean?
No, exactly. But I kind of zoned out on all your technical stuff. I'm sorry.
it's hard.
I know what you mean.
It's hard not to be impressed with the technical astuteness of the film, though, because it's like it's got this beautiful color. Like I said, it's got these great, super long shots and like then extreme close-ups and that opening scene. Well, not quite the opening scene, but when they catch him and he like wakes up and he tries to escape, and it's like the camera seems to be like all over the place. It's almost like a run and gun kind of shot, like handheld. And then he like jumps out or almost falls out into the cave. Like everything's happening so fast. Like I actually almost like want to rewatch the movie again after our podcast, just because it's so exciting. Like it's just so well done. Like I can't really, put into words how much I love watching this movie.
Well, good thing you have a whole podcast to say while you like to do this movie. Here, I'm just going to give you the title of the podcast right now. Kris jerks off to Mad Max.
Oh, Mama. I'm so sorry, Mr. Ventura. I...
But now, what did you feel about Hardy in terms of being Max?
Did I think he was yeah, I thought he was a fucking perfect casting. You don't think so?
Yeah. Well, like going through all this too, and then there was a lot of criticism that he wasn't used properly. Like, do you have a problem that he only had 20 lines during the whole film?
I think it was perfect. I think it was absolutely perfect. I think that Mad Max never really talks a lot. Like I'm watching Road Warrior right now, and like he's barely said anything so far. It gives him gravitas. It gives him weight, right? Like he's doing a lot of like kind of face acting, and he's supposed to be this kind of brooding, silent character. And I think that cutting those lines out, remember when we were talking about Benicio del Toro. He'll actually go through a script and get rid of lines because he's like, nope, I can act that with my body. Nope. Like a great actor can use less script instead of more. And I think that Tom Hardy was fantastic with it. I think he was perfectly cast. And I think it gave him the like aura of mystery that you want from Max. I'm guessing you don't agree.
No, I enjoyed him with it. And that's the thing. I thought you're a huge Tom Hardy fan, and you're like, I just want to listen to him, like, mumble a lot. But
if I'm going to do that, I'll just go watch Legend, where I get to watch him play both Cray brothers. You know what I mean? Then I can get double my pleasure for double my fun.
But in terms of what you're saying, like you're rewatching Road Warrior, that actually is the movie with the least amount of lines for the Mad Max character. Mel Gibson only had 16 in that movie.
So he actually has less than Fury Road?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Hardy only had 20, and Road Warrior, he had 16, which Mel Gibson said is his favorite movie, which I'm assuming he got paid a shit ton of money to just say. It was like Arnold Schwarzenegger T2 money, right?
Well, just think of like you get your script, it's like 1 page long. You're like you're in the whole movie and you've got like 1 page of script to memorize. It's like, oh, I can do that. Gasoline. I need gasoline. It's like, all right, cut. Moving on.
That was my favorite, like, because once I saw that he only had 20 lines, like going through the movie, the ones I think about is him pointing at somebody saying, "That's my boot," or "That's my car," "That's my head." And then
Tom Hardy does that too, right? That's my jacket.
That's what I'm saying with Tom Hardy, right? He's like, that's my jacket, that's my head, that's my boot, that's my car, and my name is Max. I'm like, there's 5 right there.
What do you have a favorite Tom Hardy movie?
Hardy movie. I liked him a lot in Inception. I liked him in Legend.
Mm-hmm. Man, I love Legend. If you guys haven't seen Legend, it's all about the Cray brothers, which are like these gangsters in 1960s Britain. And Tom Hardy plays both characters. Go and watch that movie. It's amazing, especially if you like kind of British gangster films like Rock and Rolla, which she was in as well, or like Guy Ritchie type of stuff. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, I haven't seen, what is it, Bronson? That's the one.
Dude, yes. Also watch Bronson because it's based on a true story and it's super kind of surreal. Not surreal. It's kind of arty, but he does an amazing job. The real Bronson said that no one else could play him the way that Tom Hardy played him. You know what I mean?
So, yeah, no. But yeah, well. And I was gonna say probably Venom. I enjoyed because
movie was fucking horrible.
I thought it was funny.
Watchable, barely fucking watchable.
I thought it was
waste
funny.
of talent is what that was.
But what's the movie he's in that he just fucking drives a car around over and over again?
Drives a car around.
Locke.
Oh, I haven't seen that. Is that good?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it either. I knew there was a movie, but I heard it was good. Like it was just like an acting kind of thing. That it's just literally him driving a car.
Huh. I'll have to check that out.
No.
What did you think of casting of Charlize Theron? You know, since we're talking about actors right now.
I thought I can't say she stole the movie, because in reality, the
It's her
movie,
movie.
yeah, the movie's hers, right? And she, I would say, became like the pinnacle of an action star in this film.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, for sure.
Outbeating any male action star.
Well, I would say that like, I mean, I think she's really great in Atomic Blonde, but like you start to see, I mean, she was in Aeon Fox as well, right? So
yeah, and what I read as well, like, I guess Mad Max is huge in South Africa, right? And she's always wanted to be in a Mad Max film. When this film originally, because this film was supposed to happen just before 9/11 with Mel Gibson.
yeah.
And they offered her a role, and she didn't even know. Her agent never told her.
What the fuck?
Right? And then it came full circle where she actually got to be in it.
Yeah, this film was in like development hell for like forever. Like you said, like, well, when 9/11 is, so like how many years ago? Well, I mean, this movie came out in 2015, so it took like what?
I think it was 10 years. It was in development hell.
Yeah. Like going from different studios and then almost getting started and then some script revisions and stuff like that.
So as you're making your little shy comment or little sly comment about Happy Feet, you owe this fucking movie to Happy Feet, because Warner Brothers is the one that distributed Happy Feet, and because it did so well, he got to leverage Mad Max for it.
Well, and so he won an Oscar for Happy Feet.
Yeah.
For best animated feature or whatever. It's interesting that the whole Warner's thing. So they got in a big fight. Okay, so the budget for this is either 155 million if you talk to George Miller's production company, or it's 185 million if you talk to the studio, and then plus or minus or plus 20 to 40 million on top of that 185. So they actually had to go to court, because if it was going to be brought in under budget, he was supposed to get a bunch of like extra stuff, like $7 million, proceeds of profit, yada, yada, yada. But the studio said, no, it cost 185 million. And there's this like whole legal battle that played out or whatever. And for a while, like George didn't even know if he was going to make another film with them. So it's interesting that like he did Happy Feet. It went well. Oh, speaking of which, you know who also in the back end ended up helping to finance this thing? Mnuchin, the former Treasury Secretary and John Oliver lookalike. He threw some cash at this film.
Okay.
It's just one of those weird factoids, right? It's like, because they basically went to get another round of funding, and Steve Mnuchin threw some cash down there. So that's thanks a lot, Steve. I mean, you didn't do a very good job as a Treasury Secretary, but we're glad that you brought us Mad Max. My producer wants to know, how do you make a movie like this? Is it like through, like, is the director directed, or is it through the script or whatever? I mean, something like this, something where there's not a lot of dialogue, I would say Miller and Hardy basically were like, actually, I bet you Hardy took a lot of like direction, because Tom Hardy gave an interview where he said,
oh my God.
What?
You did no fucking research on this movie.
What do you mean? Okay, let me finish my quote, and then you can correct me if I'm wrong. Because Tom Hardy said when he read the script, he had no idea what the fucking movie was about. And then he praised Miller after the fact for like making it come to fruition. So tell me how I'm wrong.
You're wrong, because it wasn't when he read the script. It was filming the fucking movie that they were always at each other, because Hardy had no idea what the fuck was going on, right?
Okay, so is that not kind of what I was saying? Like,
no, because you said when they're reading the script.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Well, like they're at odds, and same with from what I read, Charlize Theron and Tom Hardy as well had a huge major beef in this film as well. Enough so that there was an accident where Charlize broke Tom Hardy's nose.
Oh wow!
Now it was an accident in a stunt. Or was it? No one knows, except for Charlize Theron.
That's pretty badass, man. You know what I mean?
But yeah, they're at odds. Which, if you think about it, it makes sense, right? Majority, you had 4 months filming this film in the desert, and you're stuck in a truck with somebody for hours on end.
Someone who doesn't understand what the fuck is going on either. Like, imagine being Tom Hardy and just being like, I don't know what we're trying to get done here.
And that's the thing. Like, when this movie came out, he wasn't. I wouldn't say.
Well, you're saying like he wasn't the Tom Hardy that he is now.
Exactly. Right. He was still a younger actor learning his craft, right?
100% he was, yeah.
So I think now, if it was to happen, he would
be more professional.
Exactly, right. And there's actually a New York Times article you can look up, and it's just like the history of this film. And even he states it like that Charlize did not have a good partner in the film, because he was doubting himself a lot because he was stepping into Mel Gibson's shoes, right? And how that was going to be. And he, I guess, couldn't take direction, but he just, didn't know what the fuck was going on half the time. So...
Well, I mean, I think that might have even just worked in their favor, right? Because there's really a lot of tension between those two characters anyways. So, I mean, them not getting... And I mean, Max is not exactly known for his, cuddly feel aspect of him. So being a bit standoffish is going to be to his benefit in a film like this. So,
but it also gives gravitas that ending scene, because if they filmed it sequence and it's her going up and him just going through that crowd, that smile's like, I'm never gonna fucking see you again.
I'm fucking done. I'm done shooting.
I'm done with this shit, and just fucking go.
So what I find is crazy about, so this movie made, so we already talked about it. It either cost like 155 or 185 million dollars. Okay. So it made $375 million. And then I was reading some stuff that said that it still would have probably cost another 20 or 40 million dollars for marketing and Oscar campaign, which meant it actually finished somehow in the fucking red. I was like, really? You make that much extra money? I don't know where all the money goes sometimes. You know what I mean?
Well, isn't that the complaint? Like, I wouldn't know because I'm not in Hollywood, but isn't that the complaint of every creator in Hollywood, that no movie actually makes money? They're always in the red.
Well, I mean, I think the studios also find a way to do that for like tax reasons and stuff like that. But this movie made $56 million just in home media up till 2020.
I was one of them.
Which do you have, like one of the box sets or?
No, I just had the Blu-ray, right?
Have you seen the black and white version of this?
No, I heard about the chrome
black
version.
And chrome version.
Yeah, which is funny because you were fucking making fun of like, why the fuck is there a black and white version of Justice League? And I'm like,
because I don't know. I just feel like with Justice League, it's just like they shot the thing, they made an extended Schneider cut, and then they also released a black and white version. Like, I'm sorry, I don't give that film the same type of like artistic credit.
Shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
Okay, here's a perfect example. This movie is 120 minutes of perfect fucking movie making. Schneider cut is what, 3.5 hours of fucking dog shit. So you be the judge. Right?
Hell no! No! No!
Come on, you gotta keep talking. We're fucking radio, buddy.
No, I was gonna say we each have our own opinion, but
if the past is any indication of the future, not only is there no chance that you'll ever be right, all signs suggest you will never even come close once in your lifetime.
One of them is right.
We can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree. We can agree to disagree, but I still want to see the 4-hour or 420-hour cut of this movie, because my guess is because they announced what there's Mad Max Wastelands next with Tom Hardy, and then there's Mad Max Furiosa, right?
No, Furiosa is coming out in 2023. I think the next Tom Hardy one will be coming out after that, because I couldn't find any production notes on it. Did you?
No, all I see is like in his IMDb just saying like Mad Max Wasteland. But my guess is from everything they shot, they said they had enough film like in the can for another 2 movies. Oh,
Well,
fuck.
but
Get your finger up in that
Furiosa though
nose.
is going to be back in time because the actor that plays in Queen's Gambit is going to be playing the role of Furiosa.
Yeah, but I would assume that if it is a timeline thing, it might be like what's explained in this film, how she was stolen with her mom.
Yep.
It's probably that story, but I don't see them not putting Charlize in it either.
Are
Right?
you
Like,
wait?
she's
Are
the
you sure? Are you sure that they're? I don't think they're using footage from this film to make another film. I think what he meant is we have enough in the story, as in like the story he has fleshed out. His treatment is that he's got enough that he can make 2 other films. I don't necessarily think that they're using footage that's already shot. So we can agree to disagree there too, if you want.
Oh, we're changing the fucking name of this podcast to disagree.
So I got one more quote, and then well, actually, before I get into my other quote, is there a scene that you like? I was trying to for myself. I was trying to think of like a scene I really liked, but I actually like it all. Like, there's nothing about this movie that I don't like at all. Casting is fantastic. Scoring is amazing, especially because I'm watching, like I said, I'm watching Road Warrior right now, and the score is way cheesy, like super, super cheesy. And this film, like Fury Road, had an amazing score. Like I said, it's edited well. It's fucking fantastic. So yeah, do you have a favorite scene?
It was Junkie XL that scored it, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And this, no, I don't actually. I don't have a favorite. Like in the first Mad Max, the scene that I enjoy the most is after he gets his leg fucked up, and it's him putting all his pressure to just get up to walk to the car to kill fucking Toe Cutter.
Yeah.
But
you know who played Toe Cutter?
The same guy that plays Imogen Joe.
That's right. His name is His name was Hugh Keys Burns. And unfortunately, he died December 2020. Like, he just passed away. It's the age of 73. But yeah, he was in the original. He played the original baddie.
He did.
The big baddie, as they say.
The big bad. Well, that's the thing. Like, if they are making another one with the Hardy, they can have Mel Gibson play the bad guy.
That'd be kind of cool, actually.
Yeah.
Although Mel Gibson's already kind of turned himself into a bad guy, so I don't know. He's a bit problematic. Would you not recommend this to anyone? Give me the who would you recommend it to, or who would you not recommend it to, or both? Come on, Siskel and Ebert.
Nah, fuck you. I don't think anybody should not watch this film, right?
Small children definitely fucking watch it. Old ladies with heart problems, fucking watch it.
Well, here, you just said, yeah, old fucking ladies should just watch this movie. Like, those females, I don't remember their names in the film, the Valerians or whatever.
Yeah. They're badass, man.
They did all their own stunts, 70 years old, and they were jumping out and out of cars
Those
too.
motorcycle stunts and stuff too?
Everything, they did their own stunts.
That's amazing.
So, yeah, old fucking ladies should watch this movie.
I remember just on the topic of like old ladies and Mad Max, my English teacher, Mr. Silva from Monsignor Doyle, we were doing Gallipoli in history class, but man, she was waxing poetically about how much she enjoys Mel Gibson in the Mad Max movies, if you get my drift.
It's him in fucking tight leather, right?
All the time. Yeah, man, and we can talk about Mad Max stuff all the time. Like I said, in Road Warrior, the chaps and their asses hanging out and like men strapped to the back of motorcycles. You're just like, what is going on in this movie? But so the last quote I'm going to end with is from Mark Kermode from the UK Observer. Mad Max Fury Road, an orgy of loud and louder, leaving us alternatively exhilarated, exasperated, and exhausted. It's got a little bit of alliteration in there. But I 100% agree. I was exhilarated, I was exasperated, and I was pleasantly exhausted. Unless you got anything else for me, Scott, I am done. Definitely go watch this fucking movie, though. If you haven't seen it, if you like action movies, watch this movie. Turn it up as loud as you can. Watch it on the biggest screen you can. And yeah, hit us up on social media and let us know what you think.
Yeah, the only thing I would say in terms of this film, I want to be the guy with the guitar. if I could be anybody, is even though I don't play a guitar, but I just want to be the guy with the guitar that fucking lights fire.
Supposedly that actor created his own backstory, like he had personal backstory for that role.
That's being in character, right? Like
absolutely,
you should.
And
right?
that guitar really worked. Like I said, like as we talked about, all the effects were practical, or most of the effects were practical. So they actually had 150 vehicles built for the thing, and only 88 of them survived. Like some of them were meant to be like split right in half, just so they could like blow them up and shit. So anyway, that's all for me, Scott.
And that is our rant for the day. Please like and subscribe to this podcast. You can also reach us and interact with us on social media at howdoyoulike.that1 or email us at howdoyoulikethatmovie@gmail.com.
I think he was in his 70s then.
He'll be 80 when he's filming Ferocious.
That's so crazy, man. And he's still making fucking gold. I mean, I didn't even actually get to talk about the work he's done. I didn't realize it makes sense considering how many Oscar nominations he's had and stuff like that. But I mean, he worked on
Lorenzo's Oil,
The Witches of Eastwick.
Yeah.
I mean, Babe, the sequel, Happy Feet, and the sequel, and then Furiosa. But like some of those earlier films, man, like those are like really well-known films. Oh, and he's a fucking medical doctor. He went to medical school and graduated.
That's how he funded the first Mad Max. He was doing doctor work to fund Mad Max.
Production by Rod Shaver, Vader Monkey Productions.